to Nasty Knuckles, the Hockey Outlaws podcast, with your hosts, Derek Nasty Sotomayor and former Philadelphia Flyer enforcer Riley Cote, as they go behind the scenes with your favorite NHL players. Time to face off.
All right, welcome back. What's happening, Nasty?
What's up, Rigarelia? How's Winnipeg?
Peg's pretty good in my sister's old room here. Found a little quiet space.
Yeah.
Girls are creating some chaos downstairs. So
I sure will hear from them at some point in this show.
Yeah. It's guaranteed.
I want to start off by offering you condolences, obviously, for your grandpa. Sad news. Sorry to, we all go through that stuff, but it's just sad, I know you were close. I know you were close with him. So
thank you, Nast.
Yeah,
our life, this guy lived a pretty strong life. 4 days shy of 104. So,
geez, it's unbelievable, man. Like what a run,
amazing run.
Good for him, man. That's awesome. Also, quickly want to throw some condolences out for Aaron Krause, good friend of ours, Scrub Daddy owner. His mother passed away last week as well. So love you, Aaron. Sorry. It's tough. Send him lots of love and prayers. We're off last week, obviously, for those reasons. Also, I was able to go down to Florida with Tovey, our good friends from Tovey. Had an unbelievable show at the P-Hat Spem show. Probably our best one, Riggs. We did miss you. We missed Aaron. He wasn't able to be there as well for, obviously we know why. Buddy, it was a lot of fun, and we gained a lot of traction there. We're coming out with a glove.
Those gloves look sick now.
Man, you put them on your hand, I'm telling you, they're unbelievable. They have the carbon fiber in them. They're a bit lighter, but they're more protective. It's I'm telling you, man, this is we're coming, man. We're close. It looks like right now we're gonna have 3 guys starting camp in the NHL with the sticks, and we're working on more, and a lot of equipment guys came by. Keith Robinson with the Bruins, who you've met, one of my really good friends. He had a lot to do in helping with the construction of the glove and the ideas. We all kind of like threw our 2 cents in, and it's legit. And we actually have some elbow pads and shin guards coming out that are unreal. But right now we got the gloves, the sticks still just pucks are popping off, buddy. They're popping off that stick, man.
That's what happens.
But I just want to thank Tovey, Richard, big coach. Got a good scare. I got to send that to you, Riles. I got him again. Oh, yeah. He comes in. It was right away. It was 30 seconds of him walking into the house. And he's like, I knew it. I was just saying this guy. We're looking at garbage cans to see if he's jumping out.
He knew you were coming. Oh, yeah.
I was already in the house. I beat those guys there.
That's hilarious.
And Brian and Dan, we and Mike Dubé, we had a great time, and lots of laughs and got a lot of work done. So anyway, great time in Florida. Wish I could have laid out a little more. I got a little bit of little tannage.
Yeah, you're looking a little.
I think I might be as tan as you now. I don't know if the sun's out in the peg, but
it's always out in the peg.
It's right
behind a nice dark cloud.
I was gonna say
again today. Nice and gloomy. We're actually pretty lucky. They've got a ton of rain here, and we've gotten some pretty decent days. But
that's good.
Yeah, a lot of times it's gloomy.
Yeah,
as it is right now, but
and freezing normally. Very, very cold. Want to start off, Riggs? Congratulating the Florida Panthers, man. Stanley Cup champs. We'll get into that in a little bit, but 7 games, man. I can't even imagine the nerves. I mean, you played the game like that. Just. It was so awesome to watch, and I was just praying for a close game, and we got it. It looked like, Edmonton, they spent a lot of their gas, getting back into the series and getting to Game 7. They looked a little slow, but then, of course, we find out there's some injured players, as always, I'm sure, on both sides. But it was a great finals, man. Almost felt bad for Edmonton, but I was kind of rooting more for the Panthers because of a lot of our friends there. So congratulate those guys.
It was a hell of a series, and and like you said, a tight game 7. I'm the same camp. Like I just thought the better team won. It was nice to see Edmonton obviously come back in it and just see the fight and the skill level and all that good essence that they brought. But the best team won. I mean, there's no question.
I agree.
So great for the game. Obviously, great for fans globally. Canada, having Edmonton in there with McDavid, I think is good for the country. I will mention it was Canada Day 2 days ago here, and I don't know what's happened in this country, but like no flags, no color. Like I just feel like that run, was special because we needed something. But it's just obviously hockey is legendary here, and I think anytime Canadian team can go the distance or we're close to the distance there, and just wherever. Bring it and just bring the people together, but we could use a little more spirit here. I don't know what's going on.
Oh boy!
But either way, happy to be back.
I hear you. I'll tell you what else got a lot of exposure was the elbow room. That's my favorite spot in Fort Lauderdale. They were busy. There. We'll get into that later. But lots has gone on since we were obviously last together. Unfortunately, you can't be here today, but you'll be back home here tomorrow, I think. First off, Flyer news, buddy, Matvei. Your boy.
It's happening.
Danny got it done.
Oh, my gosh.
To get him out of that deal, the KHL. Signs his 3-year, I guess, entry-level deal with the Flyers or whatever you want to call it. Pretty exciting. When you're thinking, like, obviously we went through last year, you're still thinking you got 2 more years, right? Until this guy comes and everybody's seen the highlights. He's a fucking dynamic player, obviously. It'll be nice to see him in front, but I got a question for you. I was thinking about this last night. You're a former coach. Obviously you played the game as well, but if you're coaching, who are you going to put him with right away?
Wow. It's a loaded question asked. I haven't given it a whole lot of thought since it's been so fresh, but geez. I mean, obviously, a high-skill guy. He's got to play with some skill, and he's got to be able to buzz out there. And maybe a guy like Tippett, obviously can score.
Speed.
The speed. And a creative guy himself, Morgan Frost, can make plays, can still, can score some goals, some tight goals around the net. Obviously, a very creative player. So maybe those 2 guys. Obviously, there's a few other guys.
That's a lot of skill.
That's skill, yeah.
Yeah, that's actually pretty scary. I was gonna say I actually really like your pick there or your line that you've put together, but I'm gonna say a guy like TK and Coots. Coots being more responsible. Obviously not as a fleet of foot as probably Matvei and TK, but he's proven he can play with fast players. But his smarts, Matvei may be taking more chances than some of the players we've had before. So I'll say I'll throw him out there with TK and Coots, but I think I like yours a little better. But I think either way, you're going to do okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be a little bit of a juggling act to start, right? I mean, there's going to be, what they have on paper, and then they're going to go into preseason. They're going to try a few things, and they're just looking for some immediate chemistry. But I think it's going to be a little bit of a work in progress. But there's not. I say there's a few guys to choose from there that seem to be good players to complement his skill, knowing that he's a fresh young guy with a highly offensive ability that might need a little assistance, supporting the high F3 position and maybe being a little more responsible down low. So we'll see how it plays out. But I think they're willing to try anything to maximize the efforts, obviously.
Trying to think about, oh man, this is going to be cool. Like, he's here already. We didn't expect this, but Danny, there works some magic there that the little guy does. He can do it. How many points you think? How many points you think? We should have asked him when he was here in the garage.
The cardboard cutout, AI digital cutout.
Hey, whoa! Don't give that away. No, seriously though, I love the Wawa Cup baller. Great touch.
That was great.
A lot of people commented on that. Oh, he's already drinking Wawa coffee. But how many points you think this guy's gonna get this year?
That's a great question. I'm gonna say 60.
Yeah, that's probably. Hopefully more, but
Yeah, hopefully more.
I think that's a good number. If he's, knock wood, good God, stays healthy, and obviously he'll be a power play player.
Yeah.
It'll be so much fun to see him play. I'm really, really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
So
you and the rest of Philly fans.
yeah, exactly.
I would love to have been a fly on the wall in these conversations with the KHL team / mob / maybe Putin.
Yeah, slash mob.
Who's on these calls, and how does this go down?
Yeah, right.
It's probably not just a traditional contract,
right?
I wouldn't think, but either way, magic.
Exactly. And going back to when our friend Anthony Sanfilippo was in, he was kind of explaining where we thought we'd get him at the end of this coming season. And he explained how, sorry, baller, how he explained, the same agent and then getting Fedotov his deal. Maybe that helps get in there. And obviously Danny pulled the strings the right way, and he's coming. So I think everybody's going to be really, really excited about that.
Yeah.
Outside of Michkov, quickly, Danny, like I said, told the media he wasn't going to be very active in the free agency market because we're still rebuilding, right? But what an exciting day, though, for July 1. Like, this is one of the most exciting days I can remember.
Yeah.
Over $1 billion, Riggs. I mean, that's like your kind of money. Like, we're talking about. Over $1 billion handed out in contracts on day one. I don't know if that's a record. We were actually Baller was trying to find out. I don't know if that's a record, but
gotta be close. Yeah,
that's a lot of cake. I mean,
a lot of cake thrown around.
Because it's not a big deal.
Because I was one of those guys on free agency collecting all that cake.
Your deal wasn't quite that big, was
it? I'm not sure if I ever made it to a free agency. Wasn't quite the thing.
Back to the Flyers and Danny, he did lock up Hathaway, gave him a 2-year extension, 2.4. I love that move.
I like that move.
That guy's a Flyer. He's a Flyer.
Totally.
Hoping to get him on the show soon.
Yeah.
Inked up Erik Johnson again for a year for only $1 million. Great veteran, veteran presence in the room. I think I know EJ a little bit. Obviously worked with him with Team USA a few times. Great guy. He's obviously been around the league a long time, and he's good for those younger D, right? Like that's why you're signing him. Doesn't look bad on the ice. I don't think anyway. Still, I know he's getting older, but I think that's a good signing for them.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, leadership, and he knows his role. He knows where he stands, and if he's pulled out of the lineup, it's not going to be, hanging his lip and feeling sorry for himself. He knows where he stands. I think it's a good signing. You need guys like that. Some depth guys with some leadership and experience. I mean, that's really what it's all about, right?
It is. Especially when you're rebuilding, right? Like you got a lot of kids on the team. It's nice to have someone like that in the room. Another note, Carter Hart's rights were not qualified, making him a free agent. And none of the other players that were involved in the 2018 Team Canada trial were qualified either. Don't have much to say about that. We, know some things, but hate that this is going on for everyone involved. Hopefully it all gets worked out soon. Cam Atkinson was bought out. I don't think that was a big surprise. I think people kind of saw that coming, and I think Cam did as well. But he did end up signing a 1-year deal with Tampa, $900,000 deal. So good for Cam. Battled some injuries while he was here, so it was kind of tough for him. Hopefully he can get healthy and have a good year, rebound in Tampa.
Absolutely. Wish him the best. I mean, you said some injuries and, somewhat of a tough situation, but I think it's good for him to move on. I think the Flyers did the right thing, and he gets another deal, getting some cake there.
Yeah, a little bit more, moolah.
A little bit more moolah. You get paid almost twice there. But nonetheless, good place to go as an older guy, right?
Oh, yeah.
Tampa's organizational system there, they've built something pretty nice. So to be a part of that, it would be, as an older guy, probably pretty beneficial for not just the career, but the family.
Right.
Going down there.
Yeah.
It seems like a good place to play. Wish him the best.
Yeah, me too. Great segue, Riggs. We're going to talk about I don't know, everybody calls Nashville Smashville. I'm gonna start off by calling it Cashville.
Yeah, right.
Holy smokes. Steve Stamkos, I got to get your thoughts on this. So obviously he signs with Nashville 4-year, 8 million. To me, I thought it was the offer that's apparently Tampa gave to him for the 8 years at a $3 million. I thought that was a little, I don't know if that was the right thing to do there. I don't think it looked very good for a guy that is definitely the face of your franchise, has been, does so many things. We could sit here and talk about Stammer for an hour, but your thoughts on that? Like I know he's 34 years old. He's in tremendous shape. He keeps himself in great shape. He had 40 goals, 81 points. Your thoughts on Tampa letting him go?
Yeah, I'd like to know a little more information. It seems like it's almost like it seemed like they wanted to let him go, and they just lowballed him, knowing that he wasn't going to take it. Right? I mean, it seemed a little. Yeah, it seemed a little odd, again, like I understand situations of organizations here like these. We got a guy that, like, obviously you'd want him on your team, but at what value is always the question. But to your point, like, he does so much, and he's still average. Like, he still put up 60 points. How many points did he have?
No, he put up 81 points.
Oh, 81 points. I mean, yeah. So way more than just like an average player. So I mean, like, you got to offer a little more. So I'm not surprised that he went and did what he did. I mean, he's probably insulted, and again, I don't know if it was more optics of. I'm not really sure what the deal was there. Like, do you want a guy for free that putting up that kind of kind of points? Like, doesn't make any sense. And you know what you're gonna get. He's obviously an incredible leader. There's obviously underlying conversations that we don't hear. We won't ever know about that led to what happened. But it's probably great for him too, right? Just go somewhere fresh and do your thing, and not that there's a whole lot of pressure down in Smashville there either, right? As far as like hockey market, where it's just like, just go out and play. The fans and the city will support you. There's no question. So
it's a fun building to be in for a game. There's a lot going on. It's like, it's a lot. I say this, it's a lot like Vegas as far as when I say that, I mean, there's a lot going on. You and I've been, obviously we played there. I've been there many times, but even when we went with our good friends, the fans of Philly, like, it's a show, man. They got live music going. It's a lot of fun to go in there and watch a game. But anyway, I'm sure he's gonna thrive there, and we'll get into. They actually made some pretty big moves. Your boy,
they did,
Got the trots, threw some cash out there. Quickly with talking about Tampa. I will say this. I just don't get the whole Stamkos thing, and there's probably things we don't know, but it is also, on the other hand, hard to argue with what Breezewell has done there. Like, he seemed to push all the right buttons. When you go to 3 Stanley Cups in a row, you win 2 out of the 3, and you're making small moves here and there. He's done a really, really good job there. So I don't want to say the man doesn't know what he's doing. So
no, exactly. Those are tough situations for any organization, some version of that with G, when you have like a franchise player that comes to a crossroads in his career and contracts, and it's business at the end of the day, right? So both parties have to be aligned, and if the money isn't in alignment with the rest of the team and the direction that they're going, it's just really as simple as that. We'll part our separate ways and move on. But again, you always would love to be a fly on the wall in these conversations, because they're hard, they're not easy decisions. When you have to let go of a guy like that, not just his on-ice ability, but his off-ice leadership and everything else he brings, the essence. Yeah, those guys are tough to replace, right? But
for sure. And you almost start, if you look back, it's easy to look back, but you almost wish you would have got traded at the deadline and you get something for him, because you're losing that guy. Now, I know we're going to get into this. They did add players. I get it, but you probably could have got quite a bit for Stammer at the deadline. But they were also playing well, because we talked about this, them going against Florida. it was a toss-up for me. I can't remember who I took. I think I took Florida. We have to go back. Baller, don't prove me wrong, please.
Put a stake in the ground. Who are you picking?
Yeah, I gotta go with Tampa, man. I don't know, just for some reason, I just have a feeling they're gonna find a way to get it done. I can't remember now, but I just remember Tampa playing well, like leading into the playoffs. So we're like, hey, they look pretty good. But in saying that, the Lightning did trade for Guentzel's rights, and they end up signing him to a 7-year, $9 million annual average, salary there. He's a 40-goal scorer. Obviously, the guy can put the puck in the net. I don't know if I'd call him a playmaker, but he can score.
He can score.
He can score the hockey puck. So that's a huge pickup. Last year I say 40 goals. He had 30 goals, 77 points last year, and he is 29 years old. He's not old by any means, but I think he can get to that 40 mark, especially, I don't know who he'll play with in Tampa, but with Kucherov, Kuch, he can dish the puck, and Guentzel can finish. So we'll see. The Lightning also extended Hedman 4 years, $8 million. I think that's a no-brainer. Obviously, no-brainer. And I was a little shocked with the Sergachev trade. They just gave him that big deal a couple years ago. They traded him at the draft to Utah. Utah trying to make a splash there, trying to get some players in. So we'll see. And you also have to remember that the Lightning still have Vasilevsky. So a huge piece. I just really feel like, last thing I'll say about Stammer, I think you're losing a lot more than 40 goals when you lose that guy.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
That's just my opinion. I love the guy. I've been able to, I know him a little bit, and I've spent some time with him. So good luck though to Stammer, and I'm sure it's going to work out just fine.
100%.
Yeah. Back to the Preds. Barry Hot the Trots, your boy. He signed Jonathan Marchessault and Brady Skjei. Marchie got 5 years, 5.5. And he had 42 goals, I think, last year, 69 points. He is 33, but he's like a young 33 to me, because he still can buzz, and he's still putting the puck in the net. So he was Conn Smythe winner, a few years ago. So we'll see. Brady Skjei, 7 years, $7 million. Good player. That seems like he had 47 points. So last year, I think he had 13 goals in Carolina. But I was a little surprised at how aggressive Trotz was. Hey, he's making a splash, and it was kind of fun, on draft day, or not draft day, July 1. So, they're taking a stab here.
Yeah. I like where his head's at, and obviously trying to make a buzz, get the city behind him, and obviously doing his best to put a winning product on the ice. Good place, it's a couple great places to start, right? I mean, right. Think about the start on that. I mean, geez, immediately your team is in a different bracket, I would say, right out of the gate. I mean, so I like what they've done.
I will say this though, they're handing out a lot of money, and guys are older. That's the only thing. You got a lot of term on a couple of. I mean, we'll see how it plays out, but
you do. But those two guys, they're very aggressive. But I would say both those two guys. I mean, if obviously Stammer, he's, as long as he can get on the ice with two working legs, he's going to get on the ice and give it his all. I would say Marchessault he's a competitor, man. He's 33. This guy, he wants to win. He wants the puck.
He does.
He wants it. The terms are the terms, and I think there's no way around it. If you want to sign a guy like that, they're not taking a 1-year deal or 2-year deal.
Right.
It's just staying healthy obviously is always key for these types of situations. But the attempt is there. The intention to be better and to score more goals and be more offensive is clearly there. So
and don't forget, you got Roman Josi, one of the best D-men in hockey back there, playing. And they just signed your Saros. So we'll see. It'll be interesting to watch Nashville here this year.
All right, Nas, savor the taste of summer with fresh seasonal produce picked at peak ripeness and delivered straight from the farm to your door in less than a week.
Riggs, I'm ready for it. You know, when you sign up today, you'll unlock free appetizers for life. Get the party started or enjoy a little pre-dinner treat with an appetizer of your choice in every Hello Box for free, brother.
Free appetizers for life. Wow. Can't believe it.
Yes.
Go to HelloFresh.com/NastyApps for free appetizers for life. One appetizer item per box while subscription is active. That's free appetizers for life at HelloFresh.com/NastyApps. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit.
Our boy, Shayne Gostisbehere, the Ghost, returning to Carolina.
Yeah, I like that.
Signed a great deal. I'm glad to see him get some term, man. He deserves it. 3 years, 3.2. Last year had 10 goals, 56 points. He's 31, but I think you agree. He's a young 31, the way he skates and the way he moves. Like he's a tricky player, man.
He is.
I love Ghost. And, we had him on the show back in April, and he had mentioned how much he loved Rod Brind'Amour, which I haven't heard anyone say they don't.
Roddy was awesome. I mean, just the organization as a whole, I really love those guys just in the sense that they were so easy to just drag you in the fight, like you get there at the deadline. It's a little different. I've never experienced that before. I mean, I've been traded, but not mid-season. So it was just different. But from day one, I felt like I've been there for a while, and it was awesome. I mean, I hope those guys go far, man, because they really deserve it. They built something pretty special there. And just, it was a lot of fun. And, Rod is the best coach, man. He really is. He could get you going, man. He can make you go to war, as they would say. But, they got it going there, man. They made some good additions too. So, I'm pretty pumped for them.
But, I think that's great for Ghost. 3-year deal, a little security. He likes to play some golf, Riggs. He's like you. He's a big golfer. No, he actually is a big golfer, and he's sick. He's a scratch golfer. But anyway, happy for the Ghost, man. Love that guy, and Gina, his wife. So it's awesome. Sean Walker, also to Carolina, got a 5-year deal, bro. 3.6 per year. Good for Sean. He was very good while he was here with the Flyers. He deserves it.
I agree. Yes.
Good for him, man. I'm sure, they lost some pieces there in Carolina. So I think picking these two up is going to help them out a lot. And
agreed.
Roddy's such a good coach. They'll figure it out. Now, Riggs, my boy, Showtime, Patrick Kane, who fit in really well in Detroit, obviously, staying on a 1-year deal, $4 million, got some bonuses in there. He had 47 points in 50 games. He is 35, but dude, come on, man. This guy gets shaken and baking. I love it. He's one of my favorite players ever. So good for him. I thought he fitted really well in Detroit, obviously. And, coming down the stretch, those last couple games were some of the most exciting hockey I've seen. And they didn't sneak in, but they won those games late, tied them up. It was so cool to watch. So keep an eye on that with Detroit, with old Kaner.
I mean, I think even with Kaner, to say, a guy that caliber, even on an off night on one leg, will still get you almost a point a night, right? I mean, he's still a point a game guy until he retires. I just don't see him ever not being able to produce.
Right.
So, I mean, it's almost like it seems like a no-brainer, right? It's almost guaranteed outside of the staying healthy piece, right? If he's healthy, he's producing.
Exactly.
No question.
This one I had to scratch my head on, Riggs, and I think we had talked about this. Jakob Chychrun gets traded to the Caps. I don't mean any disrespect, but he gets traded in exchange for defenseman Nick Jensen, who's an older player, and a 2026 third-round pick. Scratching my head because is that all you could get for Jakob Chychrun? I feel like there's something there that people may know, because Staios was saying, the GM was saying that they had a lot of interest. Well, it doesn't look like you had a lot of interest if that's all you're getting back in return. And I mean, zero disrespect to Nick Jensen. I don't. But come on, man. What is that?
Well, we were talking a little bit offline there. There's obviously something that's being kept quiet. He's been plagued with injuries. We all know that. But maybe there's something even deeper, more chronic. Maybe it's an injury that keeps coming up, and or may not be able to be resolved. So it's like you're almost kind of going to be dealing with damage goods. I don't know. I'm speculating here, but to me, there's something there.
Yeah.
That's a little deeper than just a straight up trade that looks a little awkward. So whether the Caps are aware of it or not, it's to be determined. But there's always teams out there, looking at guys in certain situations, whether it's attitude, like we talked about Dubois, or injuries, that they always think they're take a chance, right? It's always about taking a chance. This sport is risky, and there's always the chance that these guys never pan out. But if you can keep him healthy and he stays healthy, like it's great for Wash. But
I was gonna say it's definitely a win if this guy stays healthy. But I guess
Ottawa must obviously they deal with him on a daily basis. It's just almost like you can't string enough games together to be a consistent part of their successes. So
right.
Just part of it, man. He's a beast. We talked about this too. Man, this guy's a freak. I mean, he's built like a Greek god. He obviously can play. He's big. But if you can't stay healthy, it's hard to.
But I totally agree with you. But on the other hand, on the Washington side, like that's worth taking a chance on for sure. For an aging guy and a 3rd round pick. I mean, in another 2 years, I think Washington wins this hands down, unless something catastrophic happens, with which we hope obviously doesn't. Good luck to Jacob. We're buddies with his dad. Great man. I quickly on that too. Our good friend Frank Saravalli had said, every GM, player, even players and agents that he spoke to, could not believe that was the return on Jakob Chychrun. So shocked a lot of people. So anyway,
should have been more low ball offers out there then. If everyone's interested, and the guy everyone's shocked, why don't you just throw a couple low ball offers out there and see what happens? I mean,
why not? Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it worked.
Yeah, exactly. And the Shayne Pinto in Ottawa, he signed a 2-year deal, 3.75 a year. There was a lot of rumors going around that he may be looking for a trade, and Flyers were linked to a lot of that interest last offseason. So good for him. He got a 2-year deal. So we'll see. Now in Columbus, Sean Monahan signs 5-year, 5.5. He's 29 years old. He did have 26 goals this year. I think he had like 59 points. And he's reunited with Johnny Hockey, our good buddy Johnny Gaudreau. What were your thoughts on that one?
I was a little I don't want to say shocked. I mean, you're going to go where the money's at. You're going to go where you might know some pieces. Obviously, playing with Johnny and in Calgary there. Would that be like the top place you'd want to go? Probably not. Yeah. But again, the situation might be right financially there, right? I mean, I'm not sure if he's gonna get that much money elsewhere, and who knows? Reunited with Johnny, maybe he can help. Raise his game, raise his own game.
Yeah.
Who knows what the psychology is there? But Columbus is actually a decent spot for an older guy.
It really is. It really is.
That has a family and wants just a kind of a quieter, less stress environment. You hope the team would be a little bit better, but I'm not like overly shocked. I mean, the terms. I mean, he 5.5 for his 59 points, 5 years.
Yeah. It seems, for 26 goals, that's about what you're going to get these days. And Don Waddell, he had said. He made a statement that he wants people that want to be in Columbus. Well, I think, I don't know, Sean. I'm just guessing here, but I think Johnny Gaudreau probably may have made a phone call or two. Trying to get him in there. So good for them. Maybe hopefully they have a better year. A good friend Provy's there, and So hopefully that works out for those guys.
Mhm.
Blackhawks are busy. Blackhawks again trying to put some people around Bedsy Poo.
Yeah.
Connor Bedard signed our big boy, the big rig, still
Yeah.
kicking. This guy
Mhm.
still fucking in the big rig going.
Yes,
They
he
signed
is.
Tyler Bertuzzi, Alec Martinez, two Stanley Cups, and then Teuvo Teravainen going back to Chicago where he started. So pretty busy. And, you pick up Patty. Everybody knows who Patty Maroon is. Everybody knows what he brings to the locker room. He's probably only going to play 6-7 minutes a night. But he's there for the boys. He'll fight if he has to. And he's a big guy in front of that net. He's hard to move. Tyler Bertuzzi, love that guy. We've talked about him a lot. I just like what he brings to the table. I like, he's a pest to play against, but he also can, he can put the puck in the net and he can make plays. So not bad job by the Blackhawks there. I thought they did a pretty good job signing those guys.
Yeah, I think, I mean, you're kind of patching holes in the middle of a rebuild, and having a veteran presence, getting a couple Stanley Cup winners there, multiple Stanley Cups.
Yes.
Know how to win, veteran presence, big body. I mean, if you need to throw old Patty alongside old Bedsy for a shift or two for whatever reason that might happen throughout the season, you can do that. He's
it's a great point by you. I don't think he'll be playing with him, but like you said, in certain systems, but I will say this. We all know Patty's got sick mitts.
He does.
I don't think he can quite keep up with Bedsy.
Definitely not
days.
suggesting he's on that.
I know you're not. I know what you meant, though.
Yeah, but if
throw
there
him
was
out
things,
there.
if the things get out of hand, guys have been taking little runs at him and stuff like that. But
for sure.
But Patty could squeeze in on any line really for a shift or two.
Yes,
and that'd be totally fine because he's not. Maybe his foot speed's not there, but his ability to make plays in small areas and get pucks through. He is. I think he's maybe underrated there, but he's also fallen into a role now for however many years where he is what he is now, and he's probably never gonna get those types of opportunities like he did in the past to play on higher lines. But nonetheless, I think it's a great signing.
I think it's a great signing. Also, I know we've talked about it before. Quickly, it's a great story, Patty, for going through what he did here, which we know about. You coached him, and just to see the longevity. If you would have told people back then he literally got sent home when he was leading the team and scoring in the American League for whatever reason, and he's still
for pretty
playing.
Much being lazy and too much.
And he's got three Stanley Cups to his name, and a lot of teams want him on their team. Obviously, Boston picked him up at the deadline. There's a reason. He brings so much to the table. So, Patty, great job, man. Good for you. Kevin Hayes, Hollywood, going to Pitt with a second-round pick. That in the pick for Sid. Sid going back to St. Louis. Crazy. Oh, no, wait. No, it's funny the other day when I saw the trade. Man. I saw the trade, and I text Hollywood, and I said, yo, going to Zitzburg, buddy. And I said, can't believe it, straight up for Sid. He's going, and he said, like big long thing. He's like, bro, I almost fell off my chair. But anyway, Hazy had 13 goals last year, 29 points. He's 32 years old. I'll tell you what. Well, I don't know who he's going to play with there, but I'm not sure about Pitts. I don't know what's going on in Pittsburgh, to be honest with you. But nice place to play. You get treated really well there, and you get to play with Sidney Crosby. So good luck to Hazy, Hollywood. He's the man. Love him. Okay, Riggs. Anthony Stolarz, our boy.
The goalie.
Stoli the goalie. Elvis's coach, George Bozak, is Stoli's coach. So I guess Elvis will be in NHL, right? That's how it works, right?
That's exactly how it works.
But Bozy does a great job, man. He's one of the best. But Stoli gets a 2-year deal, Riggs, 2.5 a year. Good for him, man.
Yeah,
this
great
guy,
for him.
He battled, man. I know when he was here. Yeah, things, things didn't work out. Not because of him, that's for sure. They traded him to Edmonton there. They kind of got him situated. Now he's played how many years now, and he's a Stanley Cup champion. Stoli, congrats, brother. What a year he had this year playing alongside of Bob. He had a .925 save percentage, 2.03 goals against. Just a big body, keeps himself in great shape. He doesn't look like a goalie when you look at him. He's so jacked. 30 years old, but good for him, man. We love Stoli. So proud of him for winning the cup and being part of that team. And now he gets to move on with our boy Craig Berube in Toronto. So pretty exciting week for Anthony Stolarz.
Yeah. I'm super pumped for that, and just to see him continue to have success. Like you said, he's a huge body, but outside of his numbers, which are great, he's just such a great guy. It's just like one of those guys you root for. And as you mentioned earlier, like his time in Philly, I believe he was told he may never play, not a pro hockey game, NHL hockey game ever again. And for him to go on and have success and win a Stanley Cup and then have more success, get rewarded for that. Just love to see it, because it's not just about the size of the frame and the numbers. It's about the character of the individual. I think we know Stoli is just a great guy. So
yeah,
you root for those guys, wish him the best. Yeah, he's gonna do great there. Having Chief, around.
Yeah,
man, it's like if he hasn't already found his groove fully, I'd like to think that being in that environment is gonna help his game and just keep seeing him progress. So wish him the best
for sure. To the Edmonton Oilers here, they add Victor Arvidsson, small guy but can put the puck in the net. Also Jeff Skinner,
Mm-hmm.
you add those two who can put the puck in the net. They're both smaller guys, but they both can put the puck in the net. They're adding them to an already pretty strong forward core, and you didn't really lose anyone. So, not bad for the Oilers, adding those two guys. I think they'll be nice little pieces to fit in there, give them a little extra depth scoring, I guess, for a team that already scores a lot of goals. And quickly, congratulations to them as well, getting to the Stanley Cup Finals.
Agreed.
And our good friend Chris Knobloch, I should have said that in the beginning. But anyway, a couple good pickups there by Edmonton. And moving to Florida, the Stanley Cup champs, Sam Reinhart, staying in Florida, signs an 8-year deal, 8.625, bro. Again, your type money. 57 goals and 94 points, and only 28 years old. That will get you that kind of a deal.
Yes, it will.
So,
not to mention a cup. So amazing point production.
Exactly.
But obviously, it certainly helps when you win. But high end skill. He's got some good years left.
He does. Sure. He really does. Riggs, a lot of our listeners may not know, but I am a huge baseball fan, as well as Elvis is. We had a great time at our tailgate last year, you and I, last summer when we saw the Phillies walk off the Dodgers that night. And Elvis and I were lucky enough to go to a playoff game last season. I'm itching to go to another game soon.
You and me both, Nas. And with Game Time, we can get good deals on tickets. Game Time is an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to the first pitch. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets.
Riggs, the Dodgers are coming to Philly early next week. I think we should get tickets. The battle between two teams, first in their division, sounds like a great time. My favorite feature on the Game Time app is the last-minute deals. You can save up to 60% off buying last minute for sports, concerts, comedy, theater, etc.
You know what I like the most? I love how you can get a panoramic view of your seat from the app before you buy it. So take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code NASTY. For $20 off your first purchase, terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code NASTY for $20 off. Download Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
With that, let's lead into there were so many deals. Like, I know Baller did a great job on the social media, putting everything up there. We could sit here for a day almost talking about all these deals, but with that, let's lead into the Stanley Cup Final. Last time we recorded it, I think it was before Game 6. So obviously the Oilers push it to a Game 7. if the Oilers win that, to me, I think that's the biggest choke in Stanley Cup history. If you blow a obviously a 3-game lead, they're up 3-0, but they didn't. They found a way. They battled. They won Game 7. Sam Reinhart scored, speaking of him, to give the Panthers a 2-1 lead with about 4 minutes to go in the second period, and that's all they needed. But I'll tell you what, man, it was exciting because it's back and forth, just little bounces here and there. Like, to me, it was great. And I thought Bob, came up huge after struggling maybe a little bit. And I don't know if it's all on Bob, the struggles. I think there was, I felt like Ekblad had a tough few games there where he kept getting beat for breakaways. I mean, they were too shorthanded. We talked about that before. But anyway, Bob came up huge, Game 7. And they win. They win the cup, He
needed to, it would have been just devastating had, again, like you said, like it's not all on Bob.
Right.
But those maybe a couple of those he could have had, and it could have been a difference maker, but he needed to be rock solid, and he needed to be exactly what he was Game 7, because it would look. I can't imagine how it would feel, but from like an outsider or being in the media, being critical of winning and losing and teams' performances, like that would have been, like you said, like the biggest crumble of all time,
right?
Being up 3 and losing, but they didn't. So
they didn't.
Great for them all. They all showed up as they were supposed to, and they did what they needed to do.
Yeah, I thought it was funny because I know they held him off the ice the practice before Game 7 so he could reset. Like, I get that, but Edmonton, Chris Knobloch did that to Skinner in the previous round, but it was for like a few days because our buddy Pick, played 2 games. Well, this is like to reset. Well, obviously it doesn't take Bob long to reset because that's basically like a practice. And he did reset and was awesome. Connor McDavid, I lost my bet. I had Bob, and it looked like so good first 3 games. Bob's going to get the Conn Smythe. Anyway, McDavid gets it, deserves it. Even though they lost. First losing player to win Conn Smythe since way back J.S. Shayne. In 2003. And the only other non-goalie to win besides Reggie Leach in 76. And obviously Ron Hextall won the Conn Smythe way back, I think 87 baller. I think that's when it was. So great finals, very entertaining. It was so much fun to watch the fans in Edmonton, man. That just looked like, wow. Like, I mean, it was so cool. It was so cool even in Florida too, man. It just looked like a lot of fun. It'd be so much fun to be a part of that. So congrats again to both teams, and especially the Florida Panthers for winning the Stanley Cup.
Absolutely. I would always say too, had McDavid not had a strong Game 4 and 5,
maybe
it probably goes to Bob. I think
true.
Like he's the one that kind of single-handedly turned it around, and obviously the numbers, I think it was 3 points shy of Gretzky's record or whatever it was.
Insane,
so I mean, you got to throw him a bone. I mean, had they won in 5 or 6, maybe Bob would have won, but again, speculating. But congrats to him. He earned it. I mean, hell of a job.
Unbelievable.
Great playoffs.
Yes, it was. It was so much fun. I hate it's over because I feel like, yes, I watched the Phillies, but there's just nothing on TV right now. For me, because I love watching sports. Anyway, going to the draft, move on to the draft quickly first. How sick is that spear? Like,
that's insane.
Is the cool couple of the angles they were showing. I was just like, and I had text Danny, and he's like, "This is cool." Danny Briere. I was like, it looks so cool. He was like, "It's awesome." But as we all knew, Macklin Celebrini, I think you called him Celebrinov. You weren't sure a while back. Baller, maybe you can pull that up. Who are they gonna take?
Matsev.
I believe they're going to go with Macklin Celebrini on this one. Did you think it was Matsev Celebrinov?
I was going to say Macklemore.
Celebrinov. But he's picked first overall by the San Jose Sharks. Congratulations to him. He's a hell of a player. It'd be interesting to see what kind of year he has. So anyway, Beckett Sinicke drafted 3rd overall to the Ducks. He was very surprised, Riggs. I'm not sure if you saw his reaction to it. Hopefully Baller can throw that up. I hope I pronounced his last name right. I think it did. But it was so funny. He's like, what the fuck? And his mom, I think, even said it too. Like, oh my
What
God.
happened?
Or he said, oh my God. What
Yeah.
I think that's what he said first. Oh my God. What the fuck? Which was, it's so cool to see a kid that excited, but obviously he did not think he was going 3rd overall.
Where was he supposed to be slotted?
You know what? I have to ask Baller that because Baller follows the draft way more than you and I, but he was definitely surprised. But anyway, the Flyers with their first pick. Now, I will say this, and we all know this, Danny was trying so hard to get the move up in the draft, and no one would oblige him with a trade, and it seemed like he was offered quite a bit. He knew who he wanted to get, but they could make it happen. So you got to give him credit for trying because he definitely was. But they end up drafting Jet Lachenko with the 13th overall pick. And the coolest thing, Riggs, how fucking sick would that be? Michael Buffer announcing that, dude. I thought that was amazing.
It is a thrill to announce this next selection for my hometown, Philadelphia Flyers.
I love this.
I don't
perfect
know
for Philly.
I would love to know who came up with that idea, who reached out, like all that stuff. But that, especially for Philly, right? Like, I know Rocky's not real. I know it's character. It's a character, but I just thought, like, how great for Philadelphia, like, to have Michael Buffer do it. I just thought that was super.
Yeah, so rad. Yeah, I didn't realize he was from Philly.
I didn't either.
But someone was thinking outside the box there. But you're going to Vegas, and obviously the boxing scene and the Philly connection. I mean, someone obviously connected the dots there. It was a great creative idea. So
whoever
thought of that one.
You know, his brother is the UFC guy.
Oh, Bruce.
Bruce Buffer, and me and TimmyPar.com, we used to just send each other videos of him because I love when he goes, and he's pointing, and he's like, he's got his card, he's like putting it in their face when he's announcing him. That dude is the man. But it was so cool anyway to see Michael Buffer. He's a legend. So cool. So anyway, man, lots. We could sit on here for 3 hours today just to go over everything, but kind of like, go over the most, I don't want to say most important, but a lot of the important things here. All right, Riggs, this segment is brought to you by Bet365, proud partner of Nasty Knuckles. Open an account with Bet365 today and bet on a huge range of markets. So whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Use code HOCKEYCA. Riggs, I think I'm going to make a little wager with Matvei Michkov.
You are?
I think I am. I like him. I think I'm going to take him to win the Calder at a plus 350.
Ooh.
I think he's going to do it, and I'm hoping he's going to do it, but I'm going to lay that down and say that he wins the Calder trophy as the best rookie in the league.
I like that, and I'm going to kind of follow your lead in one way, shape, or form here, and it's piggybacking off my 60-point prediction for next year, which the line is set at 46.5, so I should be in good shape.
I think
so. So I'm taking the over for a minus 140.
All right. I think that's a pretty good play if he like we said, if he stays healthy and he's playing, and Torch doesn't get too mad at him for maybe cheating a little bit, playing that
for being ultra skilled.
Yeah. He gets mad because he's ultra skilled. I like that. So Bet365, baby. Get your play in today.
Oh yeah. Nasty, you know what time it is?
Is it that time?
It's that time, as always.
Is it time for Clear Questions?
Oh, yeah. Let's go.
Clear Questions brought to you by Clear Rum. Go to clearrum.com/shop. Use code NASTY2023 and get 35% off of your order. PA residents only, Riggs.
Wow. Just in time for July 4.
I know.
All right, Nast. We got Doug Hill on Facebook. He asks, how hard is it to gel with a teammate with a huge language barrier. Obviously, it takes time, but can they fit in right away? Obviously, referring to Matvei Michkov.
Yeah.
And you've seen this a lot. Obviously, Bob was probably one of those guys, and if fresh as can be, obviously being Russian as well. And what are your thoughts there, Nas?
Well, like I've kind of noticed, like Bob was one of the first ones. Also, we had Chernov, a kid with the Phantoms, went way back in the day, like 90, what was he, 98, 99, I think. And he came over, didn't speak a whole lot of English, but he did take lessons just like Bob did. Bob really picked it up quick. But it seems like the further I got through my career, guys were coming over, they did speak a little more. Maybe they're learning that over there. I don't know. But I think on ice, Riggs, and you may know this better, if you have a player like Michkov, who I think is obviously an intelligent hockey player, I think that part of it's okay. Obviously, the communication, if you're trying to explain something, that could be difficult, right? Like, they do have Slava Kuznetsov over there who does do a lot of translating for those guys, but he can't be on the bench doing it. So you hope that he's already started now, knowing that he's coming here, trying to pick up a little bit of the language, and I'm sure he'll learn it. But yeah, it could be difficult when you're, say, in game and trying to get a point across. You almost have to probably use a board and try to explain that way.
Yeah, lots of boards for sure. X's and O's, obviously, to be supporting the actual dialogue itself. And then with teammates, as Doug asks here, I mean, it's obviously challenging to communicate with someone that's really, really struggles with the English language. But, guys find a way, and, the humor is the humor, and, they'll be helping them, along the way. And hopefully he's, like you said, maybe taking some English to maybe help ease the pain that kind of comes along with moving from one country to another. But I think it'll be fine. It happens all the time, right? I mean,
right.
Yes, it's a challenge. I'm not going to diminish that. But guys seem to find creative ways to communicate and have fun and make these guys be a part of it. So, I mean, you got a high-end elite, a high pick that's, been, people have been waiting for. They're going to help him the best they can and make him feel comfortable. And again, like you said, the X's and O's, like on the bench, like actually in the moment coaching is probably going to require a little more dry erase board. But
right.
The game's not that complicated at the end of the day. I think like overall, you would know what your coach is probably talking about to some degree, but it'll take some time. There's going to be an adjustment period.
Matvei may act like he doesn't understand. So
right. We know a few guys like that, right? Wow.
Yeah. What? I don't
what? Back check? I don't know.
I don't do that. I don't do that.
That's not part of his contract.
No, it's not. It's not. It'll be interesting to see, though. Hopefully everything works out, though. That's a great question. It really is a good question.
Yep. All right. Thanks for the question. We got B86 all day over on Twitter wants to know, what was your most intense moment emotionally or physically during both of your tenures with the Flyers? Nas, you go first.
For me, both of my tenures?
Well, you.
For both of us. I'll be okay, boys. I haven't gotten to the clear yet.
What are you tapping into over there?
Sorry, boys. Oh man, most emotional. The most emotional. If we're it depends which way you're talking about. Happy emotions or sad emotions. Sad was losing in the Stanley Cup Finals. That was a devastating blow. Obviously, I wasn't playing, but we're all part of it. We're all a team, and you go through this whole thing. And you end up coming up on the short end of the stick there. That was very tough. Stays with you longer than you think, even though I wasn't a player. You just, what if, like how, and you see the other guys raising that thing. And then even today, last week watching Florida, I'm just like, I see my buddies. I'm so happy for those guys, down there, raising the cup, but that was tough. That was tough emotionally in a negative emotional way. Physically, things were very hard for me physically, a lot of moving around, and I didn't get much sleep, obviously, for 26 years, but I was used to it. You get used to it as an equipment guy and trainers. You just get used to the shorter hours sleep. And that's probably the only thing I could say. You have way more physical things to deal with than I did.
Your shoulders didn't get sore from carrying all those bags,
Shoulders, I got sore sometimes.
You got some huge traps there from all those
I kind of do, actually. And Sal Rafa, my buddy, used to like give me a little massage, and B-Rad actually was awesome, and Jack Kelly. But no, I think you would have the more demanding physical side of things.
just a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. But I will say, emotionally on both sides of it, it was the same year, 2010, making the playoffs last year. It was just like, you talk about the grind of that season and squeezing in. So, that was that game, and just winning that was, pretty awesome and emotionally on a high. And then on the other side of it, just the way we lost there. Well, how we got to the finals, through Boston, and then I'm not sure if it was just the loss itself or how we lost. But just again, equally emotionally intense, but just on the draining side. It was just like, all this hype, and almost like in my mind, we're winning this thing, right? I mean, I wasn't even playing, and just like the energy in the room and just the way things were working out, it was like the Cinderella story that just like, to me, it couldn't have happened any other way. But unfortunately, the universe had different plans. But yeah, so I think maybe the expectation, equaled more disappointment. So I would say more emotionally draining, just losing that game. But physically, got my ass whooped a few times. Brash probably being the worst. I would say that one was probably physically draining, maybe more emotionally draining. It's like the physical part was like you took the beating, in real time. But I think to have to relive that on the back end is probably more difficult than just getting your ass beat in the moment. So, but I've had, I've definitely a few of those. So, great question.
Really good.
And no fight is easy, obviously. Even the ones that you win and you squeeze in some good blows, you're probably taking a few too, and none of them are easy. So, all physically challenging, but I think the losses are worse because not just they're physically defeating, they're emotionally defeating too there. So and then someone would obviously argue that you have to be, you have to have a short memory with this, and you got to just like put that in the past because you're only as good as your last fight, and you got to move on. So not that easy to do sometimes, but I would say that
I couldn't imagine.
A couple of those wear on you
for sure.
Moving on. Rich, not in Canada, from Twitter asks, which team or teams come out of free agency with the most long-term success? Great question. Nas, what do you got?
Ooh, man. Gosh, you might have stumped me here. Most long-term success. Wow. I mean, I literally need to look at every team, what they did. As far as long-term, I think Nashville made the biggest splash, but we talked earlier about their ages of the guys they brought in. They may have more of a short-term, to me, in my opinion, instead of a long-term. It is a good question. Instead of a long-term success, what I hope coming out of free agency is that the Flyers have more of a long-term success because Danny didn't panic and try to bring things in that probably don't really fit right now. I know a lot of people are like, what are we doing? Why didn't we do more? Well, you got to remember you're in a rebuild. He like we talked about earlier, you re-signed a guy is a true Flyer in Hathaway. He's just a cut out of Flyer mold, Flyer mold, in my opinion. We still got to wait to see what happens here with TK. I think we kind of forgot about that. But I'm going to just take an easy way out here because I'm not sure in the long term what's going to be good, but I'm hoping Danny, with what he's done, obviously getting, Matvei here earlier than we thought. Hopefully that pans out as well. And who knows what Danny has up his sleeve, but I'm just going to say that just because I think it's the easiest answer for me right now because it's hard to say. I'd literally have to look at what every single team did, but I would say Nashville made the biggest splash for maybe the next 2 years to 3 years. But after that, I'm not sure if that's going to necessarily be a long-term success.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? I might have to just piggyback off exactly what you said. You know, Matvei wasn't a quote unquote, free agent, but nonetheless, it was in that space of free agency, and he's just as good, if not better, than any free agent you could ever find and ever sign, right? And you could have gone out and seeked a forward to fill in a hole or two for a year, 2, 3, but getting him in your organization now is setting you up for long-term success. I agree. I mean, I look around and those other, like you said, the Nashville splashes. Yes, I mean they're more set up for short-term success. But I think having a guy like Michkov in your lineup has been obviously highly touted, and people are waiting patiently. And now he's coming sooner than ever. The energy around it. Love Cam Atkinson, but you can create some space. Maybe now there is. I don't know what the cap looks like, but maybe there's another piece that they add now, knowing that he's here. But long term, it's not exactly in line with the question. But not that I'm taking the easy way out either here, but it is long, more the longer term vision here we're addressing,
right?
By having a guy like this in your lineup, in your organization now. So, and Hathaway's great, great flyer signing, right? Meat and potatoes.
Yeah,
need those guys. Sure. And Johnson, I mean, we talked about him a little earlier. He's a leader. You got to have those experienced leaders in the locker room, and you know what you got from him having him there last year. He's good. He's a good guy to have around, and not that he's an X factor here. Obviously, Michkov is, but supporting cast. You got to have supporting cast, and you're building an orchestra here, and you got to have all the little pieces. So.
Yeah, and obviously EJ is only a 1-year deal, but what you're hoping there, I know what you mean, is that he's going to continue to help the younger guys, and that leads to long-term success. Like with a guy like EJ, even though he's probably here 1 more year, and he, probably that's probably So that's a great question. I wished I would have been prepared for that because I would have really dove into it a little bit more, but. Hopefully that's a decent answer for you. Appreciate the question.
Absolutely. Last one here. Bill Vickerman on Facebook wants to know, while working for the organization, what trade or free agent signing got you all tingly in the feels, Nast?
Got me all tingly.
Is it Yogs?
Yogs signing? Did he resign?
Yeah.
No, wait.
Back in the day, while working with the organization.
While working. Oh, yeah, that one was huge. Yeah, sorry. Free agents. I'm trying to think if I was pretty jacked.
Or trade. So not
or
just
trade. Well, I will say Yogs was right there. I also would say Peter Forsberg got me pretty damn excited. Having a legend like that. But yeah, Yogs was just. They're both great guys, but Yogs, that was a really cool feeling. And I think it was more of a cool feeling because he could have taken, and Yogs said this, I could have taken the easy way, and what people thought I would do is go back to Pittsburgh. But he came to the rival, and I just thought that was so cool. And I wish people could have been on the inside to see how much he brought to the team and to those young guys. Talking about like a guy, and when this guy talked, every single person, not just the kids, everyone in that room, like you could have heard a pen drop except for him talking. You know what I mean? So yeah, I would say Yogs was probably one of the biggest ones for me in my my years there.
Yeah, me too. I keep following your footsteps here, but I wasn't even playing. I remember it happening and just like loving the move. And not that you can compare Yogs to EJ there, but Yogs only lasted 1 year, and the impact he had on those players, being a veteran guy around, the guys still talk about it, right? Every guy we've had on that played with Yogs talks about this exact thing. So you can see how powerful one year can be with having a veteran guy around that actually is a true leader. I remember when they signed him, I thought it was like I thought it was so cool, right? I mean, I was just immediately thought of like how valuable this signing is, and not even just it was more just for the development and just like building these young guys up, and just the impact that it will have. But certainly FOPA, and then there's probably a couple other ones, over time. But that one is probably the most recent one even though it's not that recent anymore, that really jumps out to me. Because I was with the Phantoms and coaching. I was like, man, this is great.
Yeah.
This is great. And just hearing the stories throughout the year of this guy, how he's just grabbing guys under his wing, and how meaningful that is. So it's beyond just the production on the ice with fans see. It's what he's doing behind closed doors, which is the most important in my opinion. And he was doing it all.
You know, I saw Yogs a ton, like obviously playing in Pittsburgh when I first got in the league, in New York, in Washington as well. But man, he comes walking in that door, and there's almost like this aura around him, like, and he's a monster too. You know, he's just a big man, jacked. He's in shape. He's 40 years old, I think, at the time, and he's just great guy too to boot. So it made it so much easier because he wasn't hard to work with. Like, he was very easy to work with. He was awesome. I'd have to say that was, again, my guy that I would say was the most, like, got me tingly.
Oh yeah, did he roll in with the moulet? Get you extra tingly or what?
He had short hair. He had short. He didn't have the moulet. Boys wanted him to grow one. He's like, nah. They wanted him to grow one so bad.
That would be so cool if he did.
Oh my gosh.
Just for the boys, eh?
Yeah, just for the boys. Yeah.
I'm surprised he hasn't done it. Just because, like, if there's one guy on this planet,
he get away with it.
He could do this thing again.
Him and Kenny Powers. Kenny Powers. They're the two guys that can get away with it.
With the green light. No one will say a thing.
Yeah. For sure. Actually, speaking of moulets, Elvis got his hair cut the other day and wanted to do that again. I said, absolutely no. You're not doing another mullet. You've done one. He's done one twice. I'm not doing it. We're not doing the moulets, buddy.
No. Think of the past now. So we got to move on.
Yeah, we got to move on.
Oh, yeah.
Just like that beard. We got to get that trimmed down. We got to move on from that one.
Yeah, we do.
Just trim it. Look how long.
Just growing it for you, Nas.
I don't want you to. I don't want you to. I want you to shave it.
Bicker down right to the bone, or what?
Just, you can keep it, but just trim that thing. It's in the way of your headphones. It's just in the way.
My headphones. We'll
it slows you down. It slows you down on the ice too.
Oh, it definitely does.
Wind resistant.
We'll have to negotiate something. We'll have to work out a little deal. All right, Nas. That's a wrap. 163 in the books.
Wow. And next week, 164, you're going to have a trimmed up Beardsy. Can't wait. Everybody's asking for it. But yeah, 163. Can't believe it, brother. I know we say it every week, but it's we're blessed and it's awesome. Thank everyone that supports us, and it's been so much fun. And we'll keep rocking, baby.
Yeah. Keep those questions coming. Keep supporting, asking the questions, and give us a like, subscribe, as we always say at the end of the show. Appreciate you all. Until next week, stay safe, knuckleheads.
See ya.